Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Mocktail Minutes. This is Bailey.
And this is Brianna.
This week, I am drinking, it's from a local company, JB Wellness. I think I've done one of these before while on the podcast, but this is a cold pressed juice with orange, carrot, beet, and strawberry. So I just had lunch, so this is going along with my lunch. It's a little earthy, but it's not bad.
It's a little
But I
earthy.
mean, it has beets and carrots in it, so.
I'm gonna be a little roots in there. I'm just doing like a carbonated water, but I did have something last night, and I can't really do it before a podcast because they're magnesium drinks. They're supposed to help you sleep, but they're called Trip. I don't know if you've seen them.
I haven't seen
They're
those.
like these magnesium drinks, and it was a cucumber melon, and I've had a couple of them now, and they're delicious. I got it at Whole
Okay.
Foods. Not Whole Foods,
Okay.
Sprouts.
There's another one. I'm gonna have to do it. Maybe I'll do it next week or something. But Full now has like their prenatal as a drink.
Oh,
So, and no, I'm not pregnant right now, but just to get that out of the way, because every time you say prenatal, everyone's, wait a second. No. But they sent me a sample, so I was gonna try it. But I was like, that would be so much easier because their pills, you have to take 8 of them.
yeah.
It's a lot.
What a good idea to have it in like a drink.
Yeah.
Like make it
So
taste
I need
good.
a
We'll get more fluid. Wow.
Yeah. So I need to look at it more to see how it compares to the pill form. Right now, I can definitely try it for the taste.
Yeah, because 8 is a lot. That's a lot.
But I saw that come through. I was like, that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Let us know. That's a fantastic idea.
This week, it's part 2 of food noise. I feel like just since we had done last week's episode, I just keep talking about food noise now because I'm like, we really need to talk about it. So last time we kind of talked more about like the biology of it with our hunger hormones, our dopamine, our blood sugar, our sleep, stress, and why our brain is just designed to think about food. But then, sometimes it becomes on the side of, okay, this is a little bit too much. So today we're going to talk about food noise isn't always just like coming from your stomach. Sometimes it's coming from your environment, your routines, your emotions, the way you've learned about food. So it's not just simply that I'm hungry. It can sound like so many different things like, I'll be good today. I already messed up. I'll start over on Monday. I can't have that. Should I eat this? I need to earn my dessert. I blew my diet. I need this many calories so I can eat this cookie. What's for dinner? What's for lunch? What should I eat tomorrow for lunch? Do we have dessert? What snacks do I have at home? Like, what should I eat later? It's like, this is what food noise sounds like. So if you're like, that's literally my brain, that is the food noise. So we covered the physical side last time. Today we're going to cover more of the mental and environmental side of things because sometimes we are unknowingly like turning up that volume ourselves with this food noise.
Yes. And I think dieting, we're going to start with that, accidentally creates more food noise. And, you can think if I become stricter, more disciplined, I cut out more foods, I'll finally stop craving them. I'll have more like willpower. It'll just be like part of my habit. But it often creates the opposite. So foods become more forbidden, cookies are more exciting, pizza becomes more tempting, dessert suddenly seems powerful. You want it. Think about when someone says you cannot think about a pink elephant and like immediately you think about it. Or like I use the terminology of the car, like you're gonna buy a red car and then suddenly you realize, oh my gosh, there's so many red cars. It was always there before. You're just noticing it now because it's like right in front of you.
The
So
algorithm
yeah.
in
And it
life.
works like similarly with food. Like the more we label things as like bad or off limits, cheating, forbidden, the more mental power then they start to have. And you enter into the cycle of I'm being good, I slipped, I blew it, I'll restart Monday. And suddenly one cookie becomes, well, today's already ruined. Might as well have all of them. And then you go back into that cycle of like, I suck. Why did I do that? I can't, it's this guilt, the guilt
Yeah.
for eating cycle.
Yes. So the food guilt, it creates a lot of noise. And so it's very common to where it's like we eat something we really enjoy. Most of the time it's like a dessert. We feel guilty and then we're like, okay, we're never eating cookies again. And then it's like a couple of weeks later, oh my gosh, there's that chocolate chip cookie. And we become just like that scarcity mindset. And like, oh, I need to enjoy this because I'm not going to be able to eat them again for a while and we can accidentally overeat and I just feel guilty again. The actual cookie or the ice cream isn't the problem. It's the emotional story around it that becomes the problem. And we get morally attached to food. Like, I was good today. I was bad today. I cheated. But like your food isn't your character flaw. This is what I tell people. I'm like, eating a piece of cake doesn't make you bad. You're not like just doing meth. Like
Yeah.
eating a salad doesn't
First,
make you good either.
yep.
It just means you ate a cookie or you ate a salad and one of them they're going to make you feel differently. So when eating becomes tied to that self-worth, food starts taking up a lot of mental space. And so emotional eating is what I would say buzzwords are food noise and emotional eating. People hear emotional eating and think like, I just don't have self-control. But humans, we connect food with emotions from the very beginning. I mean, think about celebrations, holidays, any type of family gathering, date nights, comfort after a hard day. Food has always carried this emotional meaning. Food, it has an emotional meaning to it. And the issue isn't the emotional eating in and of itself. The issue is when the food becomes that only coping strategy. Because eventually, stress, boredom, that loneliness, that overwhelming feeling, that exhaustion, that anxiety, they can all trigger that same response of, I need something. Not necessarily because you're hunger, but because your brain just wants relief or like that dopamine hit we talked about last time.
Mhm. And I think sometimes this is exacerbated by like the whole like food is fuel argument, which like, yeah, like it's literally how we run. Okay. It's like putting gas in the car, like putting food in our body. That's where we get our energy. But like you were saying, like food has always carried meaning, right? And we kind of talked about this last week. Like it's okay for sometimes you to eat something and the sole purpose isn't fully for fueling your body because then people start to think, well, oh, I can't tell you how many times people have been like, "My problem is I just like food. I just love the taste of
Yeah,
food." I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Well,
that's great.
I think it's weird when people don't. You know, there truly are
Mm-hmm.
people that like could care less. Like if cardboard gave them what they needed, they would. Cool. That's not the majority of people. So I think that just kind of like exacerbates it because then you're like, but I do feel good. I do enjoy this. And then you feel like this shame, you know? But the other thing is your environment is constantly triggering you. And people like often think like, "Oh, I'm just got this craving out of nowhere." No, probably not. Like there's food cues everywhere. You wake up and you scroll on your phone. There's coffee videos, dessert videos, restaurant content, what I eat in a day. You know, there's commercials, not really, I guess, that much anymore, you know, but I guess our social
Yeah.
media, like commercials. And then, you know, coworkers bring in donuts, ads, snacks sit out on counters. People bring you gifts, like especially like teachers and stuff. Like people bring in like thank you gifts. It's like mostly food, or you get gift cards for places. So your brain starts to notice patterns. And even if you aren't physically hungry, your environment is triggering you to like want to eat. Why? Because it's triggering you to you want to feel good. You want to have all those things. So a lot of times it's not that you're craving cookies because your body needs cookies. You're craving it because you've seen cookies 15 times today. And it's like, oh yeah, by the way, cookies taste good. So a lot of times it's being able to just notice like what is triggering to me. And like we said last week, like if the chips are really triggering for you, don't have them in your pantry right now. Like you have to do something to create this like beat. You know, if you're someone who's really, really struggling with this, don't go into the break room at work and eat when you know there's going to be 50, 60 different donuts in there and you're already having a hard time. You know,
The
just things.
gifts are a good thing to bring up too. And I catch myself all the time where it's like you want to get something for someone and it's like a sweet, or a lot of times it has something to do with sweets. And so I've been really trying to be aware of what I'm gifting to people. Try to take food out of the equation. And sometimes it can be really triggering, not triggering, challenging. It's like even Gannon's Easter basket, like you think about Easter and it's all these little chocolate bunnies and everything. I don't put any candy in his. For things like stockings, like I won't even put candy in Josh's stocking.
It's
I
like,
gave him protein bars last year.
I love it.
He's like, seriously, I was like, you're gonna get candy elsewhere. You're fine. And that's the thing where this is a problem inherently, but I know it's going to come from other areas. So, okay,
And
I'm gonna
with
pull
that,
back.
I think people really need to understand that sometimes when you're struggling with food noise and you do emotionally eat and you really have those issues that like sometimes you just need to remove yourself a little bit from it and like it's okay to not have a ton of Easter in the Easter basket, right? Or because I get this a lot like, oh my God, my kids are gonna have Easter candy or Valentine's candy or Halloween candy, or my kids have it, they come home from school that like if it is like super stressful to you, you don't have to do that. And
Mhm.
it's going to be okay. Your kids are not going to think you hate them.
Yeah. And spending money on this candy and even stuff, like, you can get, like, Play-Doh for the same amount,
Yeah.
just different things like that. I think it helps just to think, "Okay, if my automatic was responsive to fill a cup with chocolates that I'm gonna give to this teacher, like, okay, maybe put, like, a little chapstick in there." Like, just do something a little different. This is, like, a weird way, like, that has nothing to do with your food noise, but just saying, like, how common it is to, like, gifting, just
Mhm.
food is involved in a lot of things. Even like social media, being on social media can affect like our food noise a little bit, where it affects our attention, but it also affects food thoughts because constant novelty like trains the brain to seek stimulation. Next video, next post, next reward. And
Yep.
food can become a part of that same cycle. So you may notice like I wasn't hungry until I sat down and here I am scrolling TikTok are eating because they're understimulated. Sometimes we're overstimulated, and sometimes it's just trying to fill that mental space. Or it's okay, we're scrolling and someone posted this cookie dough that's like high protein and we're gonna try it. Or it's okay, even though it's high protein, if we're satisfied and good and we've met our goals, we don't need to eat a little bit more. It
Yeah.
still might be overeating, and then we just become very out of tune there. But that food noise can be rough. I mean,
Yeah.
GLP-1s, they can definitely help with that food noise. That's like one of the first things people talk about is that like it just took away my food noise. And
Yes.
really, so GLP-1s like Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound, they mimic the hormone GLP-1 that regulates appetite, insulin, and gastric emptying. So many people report that like once they start these peptides, food noise kind of starts to decline. So cravings are decreasing, appetite feels more stable, there's less urgency around foods, there's less binge eating. So, in other words, like that GLP-1 peptide, it quiets the noise by changing biological hunger and rewarding like signaling pathways. So, for someone who's battled like binge eating for years, that quietness can almost feel like quite life changing. But while they do reduce like the biological intensity of food noise, they're not addressing like these long-standing food rules we have for ourselves, or like the relationship towards food or fear of certain foods or body shaming. It's taking care of that biological point. So if we don't understand where like the environmental triggers or the psychological triggers are coming from, that's when we're like, it didn't really help the food noise for me. Or it's okay that it wasn't necessarily a biological problem. It's more outside our environment or things in our head that are affecting it, because simply starting a GLP-1, it is not going to fix your relationship eating.
No. And that's why most of the recommendations now are if you're on it for weight loss, you'll be on it forever because you aren't addressing those things, and
Mhm.
yeah, it can quiet that food noise, but and we're going to talk about practical ways to help that food noise. If you're not doing all those things already, well, then when you get off of it and you don't have that thing helping your physiological hunger, it's going to come back with a vengeance. And then you're going to be like, holy crap, this is what this feels like again. What do I do? So
And while these GLP-1s, they're fantastic and they
yeah,
help so many people, and I am not against them, I think sometimes we give them too much credit.
yes.
Where
Because,
we think, okay, if
yeah,
yeah,
yes,
like if I just take this GLP-1, I am not going to overeat at night. I am like
it's going to fix
going to
everything.
lose the weight. Like it's gonna be that magic wand that everyone wants. And sometimes on the outside, it looks like that. And I hear this from people all the time. Like I'm literally just watching this person doing the same exact things, and they're just like shedding weight. Like
Yes.
yes, that can happen. If they did not change anything else, yeah, it probably is going to come back once they get off of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
And
then there's also people where, like, I have someone, she's on the lowest dose, and
mhm,
she works out 4 times a week. We're working on reverse dieting. She's meeting her calorie goals now.
she's actually eating.
And yes, those pieces, like, yeah, she started losing weight just adding the GLP-1. She didn't have a lot of like weight to lose, like 10 more pounds. And so there, like, people don't really say anything because number one, they don't notice that she's on it. But then that's where she's creating these habits that are actually taking care of all areas of food noise, not just relying on this GLP-1 for food noise. And there's always going to be some level of food thoughts in our brain
Yeah, that's
because you
normal.
kind of have to plan your day out.
Yeah, yeah. And that's kind of brings us to like our, practical ways to turn down the food noise, not eliminate it. Cause like you said, there's always going to be thoughts of food. That's normal. We just don't want it to be so loud where it's like, this is all consuming. This is all I'm thinking about. Okay, no. So, number one, stop skipping meals. And this is a little bit what drives me crazy about the
Mm.
GLP-1 because I'm like, it's not helping your food noise. It just took away your appetite completely. And now you forgot about food. That's really what it is. But if you come off that GLP-1 and you've just not been eating, we're going to have to establish this again. And it's not that you suck or you can't lose weight without the GLP-1, it's that we just didn't have these things in place. So don't skip meals. Many people are accidentally under eating all day. And then at nighttime, they feel like chaotic, like I'm really snacky, I'm hungry. Yeah, you're finally sitting down for the first time, you're de-stressing, it's the end of the day, you're not go, 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 and you have undereaten. Of course, you're gonna feel insatiable. So the other thing is your body gets used to eating at the certain times of day. So you will get really used to like eating for the first time at 3 p.m. and then eating a ton of food, rinsing and repeating. Like you're gonna feel horrible. And yes, you're going to always think about food. If you're skipping meals, like your brain and your body actually need energy, its job is to tell you, I'm hungry when you're skipping. So, no skipping meals. And then when you are having meals, build meals that actually satisfy you. So, obviously, protein, fiber, fat, carbs, PHFF, like protein, healthy fat, fiber, and carbs, because these are going to help to satiate you, give you what you need mentally and physically. You're going to feel more satisfied. It's easier to kind of, when you haven't been skipping meals and you've had a balanced meal and you're scrolling TikTok to be like, oh, that looks good. Maybe I'll try that another time. I'm actually fine right now. And you're not like all of a sudden obsessed about like the high protein cookie dough that you must have right now because you've had meal, you know?
Yeah. And a lot of times, like if you're not satisfied at meals, it's because your carbs or your fat are
Yep.
too low.
Yep.
So checking in on those areas to see, am I getting enough? Because yeah, Brianna said a lot of times when you are truly hungry, your body is telling you this for a reason. Or if you're having those emotional cues, like, okay, then it's time to identify what's actually going on, identify the trigger, asking yourself, am I hungry? Or am I stressed? Am I bored? Am I tired? Am I procrastinating? Sometimes the answer actually is hunger. Sometimes it isn't. But being able to just like this and see what is going on, we're very bad about that. It's just like stopping. We just react very quickly on emotions. So
Yep.
being able to check in and be like, "Hey, what's going on here?" And a lot of times it's just like we just get a little overwhelmed. We're like, I don't know,
Yeah.
a cookie,
Agree.
like just
Mhm.
yeah. So just take some time, pause, I think what you really need. And if it's overwhelmed, think about, okay, what am I overwhelmed about? How do I break this down to make my life seem a little bit more manageable tonight or for tomorrow? So checking in with yourself there.
I
And
love.
then sleep and stress. Biology and behavior always overlap. If we are
Mhm.
stressed and exhausted, your brain is much more louder around food. And then we don't metabolize carbs as well when we are sleep deprived. We're also going to crave more carbs when we're stressed. So then if we do eat more carbs than what we need, okay, now we're on a blood sugar roller coaster and now we're just going to crave even more cycle. So having all these pieces in play working together is where you can find that magic there.
Yeah. Yeah. And tying this all together. And I think, you know, we are sold pain points on social media. Okay. You go on it and
Mhm.
you're like, oh my gosh, someone is telling me what my problem is. This
It
is how to
makes
fix it.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes how to fix it is appropriate. And sometimes it's just you suck, you need this. And so I think tying this all together and realizing, like, oh, food noise isn't just about willpower. It's biology plus my environment plus habits plus emotion. Like it's complicated. Let me like figure out what's going on in all those areas. Like if you've spent years just having food take up your brain and wanting to lose weight and all of a sudden understanding like, oh my gosh, like of course I feel like that afternoon slump. I'm stressed out at work. Like this is what I don't need like a sweet treat every day. Like let me move some stuff around to actually like do something that makes me feel good during that time at work. Or wow, I realize I do have willpower around donuts. I just need to not like intermittent fast until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow, like look at how much easier that was to say no to. It's a lot of things. So it's not, stop asking like what's wrong with me and start acting like asking what's driving this. What is it me? Is it my habits? Is it my emotion? Is it my environment? Is it my diet? Is it all of those things? Probably.
Yeah. Being able to figure out, okay, how can I navigate this a little bit easier so
Mhm,
that we stop just relying on that willpower to magically kick in? It's
mhm.
like, okay, let's actually figure out what's going on here before we're just like, put a
Yeah,
band-aid on it, like just put some willpower on it
you
and
can
you'll be
do it.
fine.
And the other
No, let's
thing,
actually figure out what's going on. Like, where's the bleed differing?
there are people that struggle with food noise much more than others. And like we've talked about how like there could be hormonal imbalances. Even if that is you, I don't want you being like, oh, I have this. So no matter what, I'm going to have this. You have to do these foundational things to make it more easier to manage. It does not have to be as loud as it is.
Yeah, no matter what, these are all pieces that are helpful.
Mhm.
So none of them are gonna hurt. These are all things that everyone should be doing, regardless of food noise as well.
Yeah.
But overall, it is gonna help you focus a little bit better, have more energy, digest your food better by just following these practices too.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We hope this little two-part series was helpful, and we will be back next week with a brand new episode.
Bye.
Bye.